A Winter Dawn by Lucy Maud Montgomery, 1874 to 1942. Above the marge of night a star still shines, and on the frosty hills the sombre pines harbour an eerie wind that crooneth low over the glimmering wastes of virgin snow. Through the pale arch of orient the morn comes in a milk-white splendour, newly born. A sword of crimson cuts in twain the grey, banners of shadows hosts, and lo, the day. Okay, this is by Lucy Maud Montgomery. She was a Canadian. She came from Prince Edward Island in Canada. And she's known as the writer of Anne of Green Gables, which is the story about Anne Shirley, an orphan girl. Let's see, she was also a poet and wrote some 500 poems and various short stories as well. But what she's most known for is Anne of Green Gables. So let's see. What's this about? This poem is a lovely description of the dawn, of dawn coming up in winter. And we have this snowy landscape, and this just describes the sunrise over the snow, and it's beautiful. Above the marge of night, a star still shines. So the marge is the margin. And this is the time where you see it starting to get light, but the sun hasn't actually yet appeared. Yeah, and most of the stars have disappeared, but there's still one shining, and you can still see one. And on the frosty hills the sombre pines harbour an eerie wind that crooneth low over the glimmering wastes of virgin snow. And I've read all this as one because this is enjambment. It just flows from one to the next. So there are frosty hills. The hills are cold. Yeah, they're covered in frost, and there are pine trees. And you can see these pine trees, and they look sombre. They look rather serious. Yeah, and there's an eerie, a spooky wind that crooneth. To croon is to sing. So there's this eerie wind that's singing in a low voice, woo, over the glimmering, over the shining wastes of virgin snow. So there's this huge area of perfect white snow where nobody has trodden, and there is this wind singing or making its noise, this eerie wind which goes over the pine trees or through the pine trees, yeah, and into the shining wastes of snow. But it's still twilight, early in the morning. Yeah. Okay. So notice shines and pines. It rhymes. Low and snow. Through the pale arch of orient the morn comes in a milk-white splendour, newly born. So in the orient, in the east, yeah, the sun rises in the east. Yep. There is a pale arch of light. So if looking to the east, the sky is lighter, it's not as dark. And then comes in a milk-white splendour, newly born. So this, the sky from dark is milk-white, and it's getting whiter and whiter and whiter. A sword of crimson cuts in twain the grey. So, a sword of crimson, of bright red. This is the sun. Suddenly she can see the sun. a sword of crimson cuts in twain the grey. So the grey sky is cut in two, and there's just a tiny little arc, a tiny little sword of a red sky. Banners of shadow hosts, and then lo, the day. Twain, the grey banners of shadow hosts. I'm sorry, I should have... Cuts in twain the grey banners of shadow hosts. So the sword, it cuts into the grey sky to it cuts through the shadows. And lo, look, suddenly, the day. So there's this image of the bright red crimson sun coming up and cutting through the grey of night and the grey of the shadows, and suddenly there's the sun, and here is the day and the newborn day. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. A Winter Dawn by Lucy Maude Montgomery. Bye for now.